Looks like we are going live. It says we're live. It says we are live. Hey guys, let's see here. This is going to be a campaign update. We will go officially live here in about about 4 or 5 minutes or so. This is just a pre-video blither blather. Double checking the audio. Let's see. What if we have anybody on here? What's this? So we started our Perilous Island campaign, like 2 weeks ago now? Perilous Island campaign. I don't want to talk about it too much because I'll probably end up repeating all of this when we go into the official start. So I'll get something to drink. We still have just a few minutes before the official start of the video. So I ordered a microphone for Bessie. So figured she deserved to have her own microphone too. So that'll be cool. So we'll try and get her mic'd up. Been trying to look at some ideas for a different soundboard or some other way to mix the sound. Not always happy with how the sound turns out, but we'll just have to kind of play it by ear and see what we can afford and what we can work out. We have, hey, Talamicus. Hello, buddy. Hugh Thompson, thank you for jumping on here. Michael, thank you, buddy. Marty Devine, thank you for jumping on here, buddy. Let's see. So, and I have to like kind of make this stuff up as I go. I don't really know that much about it, but we live in an age where you can pretty much Google it, just about anything, and it gives you, information. Also, a lot of stuff on YouTube that you can try to find if you can kind of, separate out the good stuff from the bad stuff. But I have been happy with this microphone. I don't see anybody else doing it the way I do. And the reason I attach it to my hat is because I move around a lot. So I want it to always be the exact same distance from my mouth all the time. But if I attached it to my shirt like a typical lavalier, because I am moving so much and looking down so much, when I did that, I had a tendency to brush against it and to hit it and things like that. So this keeps it, although it's kind of goofy looking, I would rather have it looking goofy than to have it, messing up during the video. So it works pretty good for what we do. Let's see. About 2 minutes until the official live start. So now Bessie will have her own microphone. So that's going to be awesome. And then may try to experiment a little bit with the way that we capture the guests as well. See what we can do to maybe try to get better audio there. On that, we're always a little bit at the whim of whatever they have on their end, and I'm not in a position to tell them, well, you got to have such and such of a microphone or yada, yada, yada. I don't want to create that sort of environment for our players. So, what they have and what they can use on their end, that's what works best for them. And that's what works best for us. Let's see, are we calling that 5 o'clock? Almost. We got about a little less than 1 minute, and then we'll do our official start, and then we'll do a quick little update about the campaign. We're going to talk about what has happened, but then we're also going to talk about this next week too. Let's see here. Wonder if I'm seeing all of the chat. Okay, we're going to call that good. Hey everybody, this is Dave here at Pulp Alley, and today we're going to go over a campaign update for y'all. We have been doing the Perilous Island campaign for the last 2 weeks, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's happened so far, but then we're also going to take a look at what's coming up. This is a lot of fun. So before we get too much further, though, will you take a moment and just make sure you've hit that like button for us? If you're not a subscriber, you ought to be. So click that subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber, be sure and hit that notify or that bell button, whatever it is, so you'll get a notification when we upload a new video. So the first two scenarios that we did so far. Hidalgo Fire was chapter 1 of the Perilous Island campaign. Very cool. Now, Minerva's League came out pretty good in that scenario. It didn't look like she was going to do well. She had a pretty tough patch there. She started off good, and then things kind of turned against her. And then by the end, boom, she snuck in there and pulled off the win. Very, very cool. And that actually paid off big for her, and she now has 4 reputation. She has an experience point, and she has a backup point. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So as far as the experience point and the backup point, we'll have to find out if Matt will use either of those in the upcoming scenario. Those are things that are used and then they are gone. So if you're going to use that experience point, you can only, right now he would have to spend it on Speedy. That's his only level 1 character. But if he wanted to give Speedy another ability, he could do that by spending that experience point. And then it's gone. Same way with the backup point. If he wanted to spend that backup point to bring in an extra like level 1 character, then he could do that for this scenario. For one scenario, it's a temporary bonus, and then that backup point is gone. So very cool. So it kind of gets down to how important that scenario is for you. You know, are you going to spend your resources to try and get some extra assets in there, or are you gonna try and ride it out and save your points for something big? That's what the decisions that the players are going to have to make. So Matt Spence played in the Hidalgo Fire. David Lowe is playing the Phantom Agents, and this Sunday will be his first game in the campaign. So right now he has no resources, no reputation, so he hasn't got anything so far. For Michael Greenhill, he's played 2 scenarios. He played in the first 2, both in Hidalgo Fire and this last Sunday in Final Flight. Oh boy, both of those games were really good. If you haven't seen them, I think the link to them is in this video, so you can go back and watch those fantastic games if you haven't seen them. He right now has 2 resource points. He has a point of contacts and a point of tips. So the next time he plays, he'll have to decide, is he going to spend those or save them? He also has 2 reputation right now. And then we have Vern Jeske. He's only played in 1 scenario so far in Final Flight. He has a backup point and a gear point in his storage locker, and he also has 2 reputations. So right now Minerva is ahead with 1 decisive win in her pocket. She's a kind of ahead of the game right now, and that's who's showing up again in scenario number 3. This is chapter 3. This one is called At Death's Door. Very, very cool. Now we're in Athens, and they have a record that Lord Darrow, he's the missing explorer that they're trying to track down. He sent a mysterious box to a friend of his in Athens, so they're trying to track down that box. But the friend was mysteriously attacked and is currently unconscious and in the hospital. The box has ended up in a Greek storage facility, a government compound. So the two groups of players that are coming into this scenario, they're going to have to break into a government facility and find that box. That's what it's all about. Dust off my old blog. Very cool. Oh, yeah, you're right. I was going to check the comments here. David Lowe is on here. Very cool. E.S. Taylor is on here. Thank you guys so much for jumping on here. So I'm going to take you around the table and kind of show you what's going on here. The basic idea is that somewhere on this table is that box, that crate that Lord Darrow sent to his friend in Athens. You got to find that box. You got to open it up. One thing you got to figure out is if you know where that box came from, then it gives you a link to try to your next link in the puzzle to go, so that's where he sent the box from. Well, let's go there. So that's it. That's part of it. Not only does the package important, but also where it came from and what are the contents. So that's important too. I want to take you around the table. There are 4 minor plot points on the table. To have a chance of finding the major plot point, which is that Darrow's crate, you've got to complete one of the minor plot points first. Then that character, the character that has that minor plot point, has to move within 6 inches of the center of the table and pass a cunning check to search as an action. They're the only one that can try that action to search for the crate. And if they pass it, then you get to put the crate on the table, and then you can go after the crate. As a matter of fact, once the crate is on the table, anybody can go after it. So even the enemy can go after it. Once you've identified, there's that crate, it's over there, even the other side can then try and steal it away from you. We know the crate is going to be somewhere in the middle of the table, so there will be some people moving towards the center of the table just to camp it out, and it's going to be a really fun and exciting scenario. No telling how it's going to go. Let's go around a table and look at some of the minor plot points. So this minor plot point over here is one of the security guards. So the area around him is actually perilous because he's going to try and run you off if you come near him. But if you can survive his peril and you can get into contact with him and you can complete that plot point, then you can use him to lead you to the center of the table and see if you can find out where Darrow's box is. Now, another minor plot point is this clerk, a minor official, customs official over here, who is doing some late night work, cataloging, and he's over here looking through crates and boxes. So if you can get a hold of him and you can either convince him or coerce him into leading you to where the box is located. So that's your second opportunity. Now, your third opportunity is another guard, because there's 2 guards in this scenario, and you have Abdel over here. So he's another guard, works the exact same way as the other one. And then you just have the logbook. You have the logbook over here. If you can go through the pages of the logbook, then hopefully you can determine where the crate is most likely to be. So this is one of those big long-term government facilities where unclaimed packages or unclaimed luggage or just different things go to reside for the rest of their existence, because most of the things that show up here never leave, at least not that they talk about. So that's the scenario for Sunday. It will be the Phantom Agents. This will be their first arrival in the Perilous Island campaign, and Matt Spence and Minerva's mercenaries are showing up, and this will be their second scenario in this campaign. So I wonder if you guys have done any campaigns, and I think it's kind of fun. All those one-off games, those are a ball. I love doing one-off games and just having fun with them. But it's also fun doing these campaigns where things are kind of linked together and you start to piece together this story as you go along. Lots of fun. Hey, Jim Stute, thank you for jumping on here, buddy. Really appreciate that. Now, here's one thing that's very interesting that I haven't set up yet, and it's these 4 markers right here. I've got 2 green markers and 2 blue markers right here. So before the start of this scenario, each player is going to place 2 of these markers on the table, and those are their entry points. Those are the places where, when their characters are placed on the table on turn number 1, they have to decide, where are they going over the wall? Like, you could imagine this is a walled compound. Maybe they're coming up from the sewers, right? Maybe they're just coming through the gate. They've bribed a guard or something like that. But each player will have 2 entry points, and those are the entry points that their characters have to use to enter the table. So, right, you could put one over here and you could put one over there, right? And have 2 completely different sides of the table. Or you could try to put them fairly close where your characters could help each other. How would you do it? Let me know in the comments down below. Where would you put them? This is a big one for a big video also for Mr. Lowe and Matt Spence to look at and kind of get a plan, start formulating some strategy for this scenario. So leave some comments on this video and help them out. What would you do if you were them? And I guess that's all for today. Our next video will be on Thursday. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Cue the music and roll the credits. Dun 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 dun